What's up everybody, welcome to the channel, Precious Robot here. So I really wanted to do a video update to a previous video where I showed you how you can add simple grief protection to your map or server. While this previous way was simple, there were some issues like if you died and were teleported out or used the nether portal, there's a good chance your game mode wouldn't change the way it should, and it could just cause issues. So this is an updated method that's a little more involved, but still pretty easy to understand. This addresses those issues and also allows you to target a more specific area. This is the method I use for my land claim feature on my RPG map, and I think it works really well. Also, I'll post the commands in the description. You won't be able to directly copy and paste because you will need to get your own coordinates, like your XYZ and your DX, DY, and DZ coordinates. But if you can get those, everything else should copy exactly. Alright, so I'm going to demonstrate how this works first, and then I'll go over what each of these command blocks do, and then after that we'll set this one up together, and I'll show you how to get the coordinates and all that fun stuff. So yeah, so I'm in creative mode right now. That makes a difference for this currently, so you'll see what I mean a little bit later. So if you go in here, you see it adds the tag area 1 occupied and added the tag adventure 2, and when you leave it, it removes the adventure and removes it. And you can see if I go in over here, it's pretty spot on. And that's because we're using the DX, DY, and DZ tags. But as you can see, my tags are changing, but not my game mode. And that is because I am in creative right now. Okay, so say your default map is in survival, and presumably you would have these places that you would come up to, and this would either be like a house or something, and players could come up and it would switch their game mode to adventure mode, and they wouldn't be able to build or do anything here. And then when they left back to survival, you can build again. And then at some point in the game, you would want them to be able to access this area, or only certain people to access this area. So all you would need to do with this setup for them to access is just add a tag. So in this case, the tag is area 1. So I currently do not have the tag area 1. And as you can see, I'm in survival. I go here to adventure, back to survival. So if I get the tag area 1. So all right, so now I have the area 1, and now when I do it, nothing happens. I'm still in survival. So, and you can see I did that on accident. All you'd have to do is just add a tag to the player. And however you want to do that is completely up to you. There's a lot of different ways. In my RPG map, I have it set up through an item. So if a player holds a certain item, they'll get a certain tag. All right, so now I'm going to show you what these command blocks do. Now these two blocks right here, you only need one time. Like if you have multiple areas, you'll only need these once. These you'll need each time. These you'll only need once. And what this does, is it changes you from survival to adventure mode if you have the adventure tag. And this is pretty much the exact opposite. So this setup detects when a player has a specific tag and then changes their game mode based on it. Now what these two do is just add the tag, remove the tag. So this will add your area 1 occupied, and then this one will add the adventure tag. And when a player has the adventure tag, it'll trigger this, which will put you in adventure mode. And then if you leave the area, it will remove the adventure tag and then remove the area 1 occupied tag as well. And these tags can be whatever you want. So that's pretty much how it works. It's actually pretty foolproof. So say I'm in survival, I'll automatically get switched to adventure mode because of my tags. And then now if you see, if I go through here, I immediately die? Okay, but I got put in survival mode, so that's good. And also, even if I teleport out of here, so I'm all the way up here. Oh, I'm gonna die actually. Respawn. Boom, back to adventure. Okay. All right, so now let's set it up together. All right, so I'll show you how to set these two blocks up first because you'll only need these once. And actually these, if you want to just completely copy and paste, you totally can. You would just have to use the adventure tag. So execute as every player with the game mode survival, and they have the tag of adventure. At themselves, run game mode adventure at self. So it's giving themselves adventure, which actually is an upgrade from the previous version, which the map pretty much always told you whenever you switched. And this way, you wouldn't even notice that it's switching. It's much better. All right, and I have this set to repeat unconditional needs redstone, and you can set it to always active. I like to have a little lever that I can turn on and off. I think it looks cool. And this is pretty much the exact opposite. So if you're in the game mode adventure, and you don't have the adventure tag, it'll run game mode survival at yourself. Repeat unconditional needs redstone. So these ones are pretty simple. Now we'll get the hard part out of the way first, but once we have that, everything else is pretty straightforward. And the hard part isn't even really that hard. So we have to select this area, and the best way to do that is to use like DX, DY, and DZ selectors. And this isn't necessarily a coordinate. This just kind of measures the relation from your starting point out that way, and then up. And the best way to do this, I found, is just to always use the left bottom corner of your area and then face east. Because if you're facing east and you use the left bottom corner, your DX, DY, DZ are going to be positive, which means it'll be like 10 this way, 10 this way, and then 10 up. So DX would be like DX equals 10, DY equals 10, so that's be like up here, and then DZ equals 10. And a way you can figure out which one is DX, DY, and DZ is if you just look at your coordinates. If your X moves, that's your X. If your Y moves, that's your Y. There's probably an easier way of learning that, but that's how I learned it. And then you also need the coordinates of the left block. So what I like to do is I'll just do fill, and then you can just hit tab, 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 and it's just the coordinates of where it's at. I'll get rid of that, and then I'll just type it out.
X equals 11, Y equals minus 60. Equals 74.
So what this does is this selects its target. And I know this is red right now. I kind of just use this as a place to type that I can copy and paste into the other blocks. You don't have to do it this way. This is just the way I do it. Once you have that selected, now we'll do the DX, DY, and DZ. And like I said, I set this up earlier, so I'm facing east, and I know this, so my X, Y, and Z are all going to be positive. So there you have DX, DY, and DZ, and it's all 10. And that's because this is 10, this is 10, and I'm going to target 10 up. Okay, so once you have that, I'll just Control A, select all, and then Control C, copy. And we'll just have that on our clipboard when we start these. Okay, so let's go in here. Okay, so we're going to execute as every player, and then we're going to Control V, paste our tag. And so what that does is it's executing as every player within that area. And then we're going to say tag without area 2, because this is the area 2 tag. This is going to be the tag that I would give somebody if I wanted them to have access. At yourself, run tag at yourself, add, and then we'll just do area 2 occupied. And once again, this could be anything you want. So then we'll hit repeat, and we'll do needs redstone because I'll put the lever, and then done. And then that one is done. All right, so now this one we'll do execute as add a, and this time we can just target them from the tag, so we know they have area 2 occupied. And we also gotta tag them without the adventure tag, because they don't have the adventure tag yet, because at this point they don't have it. This command block is actually going to give it to them. At self, run tag at yourself, add adventure. This will be chain, this will be conditional, that's important, and this will be always active. And that one is done. And now we're going to do the part where you leave the area. Okay, and then for this one, we're going to do execute as every player that has the area 2 occupied tag, and they also have the adventure tag. So anybody within the area that we just set up previously at themselves, unless entity themselves bracket, and you'll do a Control V and paste that, because that is going to be the area. Well, it's going to be if you're not in the area. Run tag yourself, remove adventure. And it's important that you remove adventure first because of how we tag in the next command block. And then so repeat, needs redstone, done. And now the last one is just pretty much removing the other tag. So execute as every player that has the tag area 2 occupied, and they also don't have the adventure tag because we removed it in the last command block, at themselves, run tag at themselves, remove area 2 occupied, and chain conditional, make sure it's conditional, that's important, and always active. And now it should, oh no, it won't. Gotta have the lever. That's important if you do it the way I did. So now you can see it, area 2 occupied, and it added the adventure tag. Removed adventure, removed the area 2 occupied tag. Now, if I change my game mode to survival, you see it put me in adventure mode. Change my tags, go out, back in survival, go in, adventure, survival, back to adventure, survival, and then if I want to have access to this area, just gotta do this, add area 2, and it doesn't do nothing. I can still do everything I want to in here. And that's it. You can see some of this might seem a little redundant like this. Instead of doing all the tags, you could potentially set this up to change, to just change the game mode instead of adding tags. And that works too, but once you add more than one, it gets a little wonky when, like say you go through here, it might continuously start adding tags, and then when you leave, it just starts working a little weird in that way, and you could just run into some issues. This way is the best way I found and works really, really reliably. And actually for my RPG map, I have this set up in reverse, so my map is actually in adventure mode, and I have plots that you can buy that will put you into survival mode, and it's set up the exact same way, it's just reversed. It just reverses it. I try to reply to every comment if anybody's having an issue. And if this did really help you out, I would really appreciate it if you go download my RPG map over on Planet Minecraft and let me know what you think. Links in the description. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.